Friends from the media, good afternoon. Welcome to the regular press conference. To start with, I have something to release. At the invitation of member of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee and Minister of Foreign Affairs Wang Yi, Foreign Minister of Myanmar Ting Mao-sui will pay an official visit to China from June 4th to 6th. Now the floor is open to questions. To follow up on the visit by Myanmar Foreign Minister Ting Mao-sui, how does China see current relations with Myanmar and what are your expectations for the visit? China and Myanmar are traditional friends, neighbors, and a community with a shared future. Over the past 76 years since the diplomatic ties, our two countries have carried forward the POC-POL friendship, upheld the 5 principles of peaceful coexistence advocated by both, stood with each other through thick and thin, and deepened our comprehensive strategic cooperation, bringing tangible benefits to our peoples. As Myanmar's new government assumed office, Foreign Minister Wang Yi visited the country at the end of April. During the visit, the two sides had in-depth exchanges and reached positive common understandings on deepening friendly relations and advancing practical cooperation in various areas. The upcoming visit will be Foreign Minister Ting Mao-sui's first trip to China since taking office, coming shortly after Foreign Minister Wang Yi's visit to Myanmar. Such frequent exchanges fully demonstrate the political will and keen interest on both sides to deepen the bilateral community with a shared future. We look forward to discussions during the visit on expanding cooperation under the framework of the 4 major global initiatives and delivering more results through China-Myanmar community with a shared future.
After the Chinese side on June 1st refuted Japanese Defense Minister's CGTN. After the Chinese side on June 1st refuted Japanese Defense Minister's comments on China, Japanese Defense Ministry spokesperson responded at yesterday's press conference that China has repeated claims not founded on facts. What is your comment? The so-called facts referred to by Japan have nothing to do with the essence of the issue and are just highly deceptive camouflage for Japan's remilitarization. Japan has said nothing about its crimes during the militarist aggression or its obligations under international law and has failed to deeply reflect on history. It packages overseas deployments as exercising the right to collective self-defense, glosses over its build-up of offensive capabilities as acquiring counter-strike capabilities, and cover up its exports of lethal weapons through the so-called defense equipment and technology cooperation. Figures do not lie. Playing on words will by no means whitewash Japan's moves of rearmament. The harder Japan tries to cover up its intention, the more important the international community should stay on high alert. Next one, please.
Good afternoon. Question from AFP.
法新社，所罗门群岛总理周三表示，他将重新审议与中国的一项安全协议。外交部对此有何评论？
China and Solomon are a comprehensive strategic partner of mutual respect and common development for the new era. We stand ready to expand practical cooperation in various areas with the new administration so as to deliver greater benefit to the two peoples. Next one, please.
China Arab TV. At 3 a.m. today, U.S. forces conducted an airstrike on an Iranian island. In response, Iran claimed to have attacked U.S. military bases in the Middle East, triggering alerts across the Middle East. What's your comment?
China is deeply concerned over the current situation. The renewed warfare serves no one's interest. We hope relevant parties can cherish the opportunity of peace, honor ceasefire commitment, and keep the momentum of negotiation, stick to dispute settlement through political and diplomatic means, and realize a comprehensive and lasting ceasefire at an early date, and create necessary conditions for the restoration of peace and tranquility in the Middle East.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。湖北广电记者提问：据多家非洲和台湾岛内媒体披露，赖清德窜访思维。
According to media from Africa and Taiwan Island, before and after Lai Ching-te's visit to Eswatini, the DPP authorities have invested over 25 billion new Taiwan dollars in Eswatini and pledged the income of the project they plan to build would belong to the king and the royal family. Taiwan's representatives in Eswatini also benefit from the process. What's your comment? Relevant reports are the latest example of the Lai Ching-te authorities' selfish gains from seeking Taiwan independence. By engaging in dollar diplomacy, they have fueled corruption, transfer of interest and money for power deals, squandering the hard-earned money of the people in Taiwan. The 25 billion expenditure you mentioned is equivalent to asking every resident there to chip in more than $1,000. The so-called diplomatic relations between Taiwan independent separatist forces and Eswatini do not aim for benefiting the people in Eswatini, but for lining the pocket of a small group of vested interests. It is another political theatrics driven by greed and corruption. The One China principle is a prevailing international consensus and also a basic norm governing international relations. This year, China has extended zero tariff treatment to 53 African countries having diplomatic relations with China across the board, which serves as an opportunity to African countries to expand the export to China and promote economic development, and has delivered tangible benefits to both peoples. Eswatini is the only country having so-called diplomatic relations with China's Taiwan region.
之声记者提问。据报道，经济合作与发展组织发布。
According to a report from the OECD, across 15 key areas including car manufacturing, shipbuilding and solar power, nearly 60% of global market share gains by Chinese firms since 2005 can be linked to subsidies they received. The report finds the total subsidy amounted to 108 billion in 2024, 52% of which came from China. OECD Secretary General stated that the large and persistent industrial subsidies can distort global markets, create unfair competitive advantages, and contributing to excessive supply capacity. What's your comment? The competitiveness of Chinese companies does not come from subsidies, but from economies of scale brought by a highly market-oriented competition, continuous technological innovation, and global footprint of enterprises, and China's supersized market. China's industrial subsidy policy follows the principle of openness, fairness, and compliance, and strictly adheres to the WTO rules. Industrial subsidy policies are widely adopted in countries around the world. What matters is they comply with WTO rules. We hope relevant international organizations can play a constructive role rather than the other way around. The next one, please.
Question.
路透社，特朗普政府提议对60个经济体，包括中国和香港的产品加征12.5%的关税。外交部对此有何评论？
中方一贯反对各种。
China always opposed all sorts of unilateral tariff measures of all kinds. Tariff wars and trade wars serves no one's interest. Economic and trade issues should be resolved through dialogue and consultation on the basis of equality, respect, and reciprocity. Next one, please.
您好，新华社记者提问。我们注意到呢，美国国务院发
Spokespersons of the U.S. State Department stated that the current U.S. administration has a firm commitment to the freedom of speech and would not accept China's continued lack of reciprocity of U.S. media. He says China has long imposed restrictions on U.S. journalists and other foreign journalists in China. What is your comment? My colleague has stated China's position on relevant issues yesterday. The U.S. side mentioned the issue of reciprocity, but that is actually China's concern. The U.S. is the one who caused the media issue. Since the two sides reached the 3 common understandings on this issue, China has implemented those understandings in their entirety and has facilitated U.S. journalists reporting in China in ways such as visa approvals, whereas Chinese journalists' regular reporting rights have been severely curbed. Hardly any Chinese journalists have allowed to raise questions at the White House briefings. Chinese journalists' applications for visas and residence permits in the U.S. are often delayed without explanation. Multiple journalists have been forced to return to China. Chinese journalists' applications for short-term reporting have rarely been approved. Is that what the U.S. side means by reciprocity? The U.S. side keeps emphasizing freedom of speech. But what Chinese media are labeled foreign agent or foreign mission in the US, does that look like the freedom of speech to the US side? What the US side should do is implement common understandings with real action and ensure the Chinese journalists can work and stay normally in the US, which is their lawful rights. Next one, please. Next one, please.
彭博社，特朗普政府提议对与强迫劳动有关的进口商品加征关税，中方对此有何评论？
中方对
I just briefed China's position on tariff issue. There is no forced labor in China. We oppose making up pretext for levying tariffs. We oppose this as a pretext for political manipulation. Next one, please.
Question from AFP.
法新社，欧盟将于周三出台计划，减少对美国和亚洲技术的依赖，倾向于依赖欧方自己的技术，涉及芯片和 AI 技术，中方对此有何评论？
中欧经贸关系的
China-EU trade and economic relations are essentially mutually beneficial. We are closely following the developments in Europe. We believe economic and trade rules should be properly settled through dialogue and communication. We hope the EU can abide by open competition, equality, avoid protectionist measures, continue to handle differences through dialogue and consultation, and resolve each other's concerns. Next one, please.
Thank you, Spokesperson. Another question from Reuters.
路透社，中国南方航空周一开通了新疆乌鲁木齐至德国法兰克福的直飞客运航线，这是新疆与欧洲之间罕见的航线。这一新航线是否有助于中国遣返海外维吾尔人，尤其是那些被中国认定为非法前往欧洲的人员？
I have no idea of the new airline you mentioned, but to my knowledge, new airlines are conducive to facilitating people-to-people exchanges between the two sides and enhancing mutual understanding. So I have no idea where your question comes from. As always, China opposes political manipulation on issues related to Xinjiang.
下一个问题，
Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any other questions? This concludes today's press conference. Thank you all.